Good evening, Nova Nation. It's WXVU Sports Director David Szczepanski. Behind me is the court once again here at the Finneran Pavilion, where Villanova just took down number 9 UConn by a final score of 68-66. What a win for the Wildcats. You can probably still hear it. I lost a little bit of my voice calling this game for student radio, but such a fantastic victory for the Wildcats tonight. So many different stats to really talk about. Villanova improves to 11-5 overall this season. They are now 4-1 in conference play with their best win of the season tonight here against the UConn Huskies. Coach Neptune gets his first win against Coach Hurley and UConn, and really the best win of the Coach Neptune era here at Villanova. Some other stats in this game for Villanova. Eric Dixon led the way once again, the best scorer and player in the country with 23 points, averaging almost 26 points per game as Dixon. He had 23 points tonight. Even after a slow first half, Dixon had 5 points in the first 20 minutes. He scored 18 in the final 20 minutes. Big contributions down the stretch from Eric Dixon. Wooga Poplar almost had 20 points once again for Villanova. The Wildcats shot about 43% from the field, 40% from behind the arc. UConn actually outshot Villanova in this game when you really look at the stats from the field. UConn was about 50, a little bit more than 50%. And UConn did win a good amount of the stats when you look at the stat sheet at the end of this game, but it really came down to defense. Villanova was able to hold UConn to under 70 points for the first time since November 27th when the University of Dayton did that in the Malley Invitational. And this is the first loss for UConn in the Continental 48. All three of their losses, they came into this game with a record of 12-3, now 12-4. All three of their previous losses were in Hawaii at the Malley Invitational. So Villanova defense really stepped up. They forced 13 turnovers against this UConn team, which really only allows about 9 or 10 turnovers per game. They also had 5 steals, did Villanova. So their defense came up with some big stops late. It really came down to the wire. Final 30 seconds, 2 late missed free throws from Alex Caraban with a big help from this crowd. Really got the momentum going for the Cats and allowed Caraban to miss those 2 free throws just because of how rowdy it was in this building. So the crowd definitely played a factor in this game tonight. It was electric in here, so loud, so packed. Great to see here from Nova Nation here at the Finneran Pavilion. It was the first time that UConn played Villanova here at the Finn with fans since 1995. So the Wildcats came out in a big way and made their fans really happy with a great win here against the UConn Huskies tonight. So the Wildcats, they'll try to improve off of this win here against UConn. Villanova, they are now 11-5 this season, 4-1 in conference play. They'll look to continue to get back into the win column and add another win to the total here in 2024-25 on Saturday night in Manhattan as Villanova will head up to Madison Square Garden. I think they're hoping for a sellout. I think it's pretty close to that. I was just hearing Whitey Rigsby and Steve Pannone talk about that. So it seems like it could be close to a sellout this Saturday. Should be a fun one as Villanova takes on St. John's at Madison Square Garden. We'll be there for WXVU. Our pregame coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. Tip-off from Madison Square Garden begins at 7 p.m. But really so many exciting moments from this game tonight here against UConn as Villanova took down a top 10 team in the country. Like I said in the beginning of this video, so many different stats you talk about, but really at the end of the day, Villanova's defense came up with some big stops for the Wildcats, and they were able to walk out of here with a victory. Everybody was so happy, so thrilled, and it was great to be here tonight to witness really the first game at the Finn where Villanova took on UConn since 1995 with fans. So have a great rest of your night, Nova Nation. Thanks for following along and listening on WXVU. Thanks for following along on social media, and we will see you on Saturday night at Madison Square Garden in New York as Villanova looks for their 5th conference win of the season. Have a great rest of your night, Nova Nation, and as always, go Cats!